The Rivers High Court has nullified the congresses conducted by the People's Democratic Party in the state in 2024. The court also restrained the State Executive Committee of the PDP from overseeing the affairs of the party and barred Aaron Chukwuemeka from parading himself as the chairman. Stephen Jumbo, the presiding judge, gave the order while ruling on an interlocutory injunction filed by Edwin, Woko and Otuonye, both lawyers and also two other PDP members. The suit was instituted against Chukwuemeka and 9 others. The petitioners asked the court to declare the local government and ward congresses of the party held in 2024 as null and void. Now, to discuss this, we are joined by legal practitioner Henry Ekine. Henry, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Now, how does the court's decision align with the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution as regarding the conduct of political parties' congresses?
Yeah, I think to the extent that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that created the political parties and then, of course, also created the courts, and the courts are there to entertain and determine matters that are brought before them by persons who are aggrieved, whether in associations or in other transactions between themselves and then one another. So I think for me, to the extent that members of a political party who are aggrieved by some actions of the political party or some organs of the political party can approach the courts, and then the courts are vested with the power to entertain such matters and then determine one way or another. That's just what has happened. So to the best of my understanding of the activities that have actually rocked the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, it's got to the point where some aggrieved members of the political party, that is the People's Democratic Party, approached the court challenging the supposed or purported emergence of Aaron Chukwuemeka as the chairman of the People's Democratic Party arising from the congresses that were conducted last year, which congresses were actually ordered not to be conducted by the court because some actions were subsisting before the courts then, and then there were orders restraining the People's Democratic Party from going on with those wards, local government, and the state congresses. But in defiance, the political party went ahead and then conducted those supposed congresses. So I think that those dissatisfied members of the political party still in the court approached the court, and then the court just needed to do the needful. And then that's one point for me as a constitutional scholar. And again, one way I think that the courts would have to enforce their judgment and then insist that the decisions and orders of courts are obeyed by all persons and authorities in this country as enshrined in our Constitution, then indeed is to ensure that orders of court that have been made are obeyed strictly. And if any person defies such orders, then such actions that are taken and the consequences or outcomes of those actions should be null and void.
All right. Are there any previous cases in Nigeria that we could use as a sample or a look back and see that this had happened in history before regarding congresses that were nullified on similar grounds?
Yes, there have been situations, I recall, that some political parties in the past have also defied orders of courts restraining the political parties from conducting certain congresses, and then they went on in disobedience of such orders of court, and then the outcome has actually out clearly. Sometimes, still in Rivers State, not too long ago, the All Progressives Congress, right, the APC, also had a restraining order restraining them from conducting certain primaries at some point, but they went ahead in defiance, conducted the primaries, and then such primaries led to the emergence of candidates of that political party for general elections. And at the end of the day, the All Progressives Congress did not participate in that general election because the courts held to the effect that they never were, their action was like a stupidity in their own sense, in quotes, where they suffered from the consequence of disobeying the orders of court not to conduct those congresses, and they went on, conducted the congresses. The leadership that emerged at that time, not being valid, conducted the primaries, and then those primaries were nullified. And I recall that the All Progressives Congress never had candidates in those elections in Rivers State. I think it happened also in Zamfara or one or two other states across the country. So it's not the first time. This, for me, it is what the courts really needs to do.
All right, and what are the potential impacts of this court decision on the organizational structure and leadership of the PDP in Rivers State then?
Yes, I'm afraid, not being a member of the People's Democratic Party, but watching from the sides, and then also following the transactions of the party in Rivers State, and of course the developments of the party in Rivers State. I think that if I'm right with my history about the party lately, at some point, Mr. Desmond Akao was the chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. And at some point, he left that position, and I think he got an appointment, a federal appointment. Then Mr. Chukwuemeka Aaron acted in that stead at some point. And then before this controversial Congress where he was supposedly elected. And then it will mean that with the decision of the court now invalidating those Congresses, and of course the outcome of the Congresses, meaning that the leadership, both the State Executive Committee and the State Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State are invalid. Those Congresses were void, and so there is no leadership in essence. So perhaps it will leave the National Working Committee and National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party to look towards probably constituting a caretaker committee in Rivers State. Because I am not sure, I don't think that my position and my understanding right here is absolute, because I'm not sure that there was any substantive elected chairman before Aaron Chukwuemeka, other than Desmond Akao, to claim the position appropriately. But I do understand that those who approached the court before Justice Stephen Jumbo, being dissatisfied members of the party, I haven't quite got, fairly truthfully, I haven't quite got my hands, I haven't seen the order of the court, the enrolled order of the court, and the full judgment as to the claims of those claimants, whether they are claiming to be the authentic leadership of the party in the state.
All right, then. Officer Henry Ekine, I want to say thank you very much for giving us your expert opinion on the matter.
Thank you very much, and it's always my pleasure to be on your platform.
Indeed, thank you.